game was very typical, of the way the season's gone for us. I thought we played well. Thought we played well enough, to be in the game late. I think our plan going in was to do a really good job of protecting the paint, with their obvious physical advantages, to have scored them even, in the paint. I thought was huge for us, and I think maybe uncharacteristically for them, based on their percentages, they obviously shot it from three. Today a little bit, a little bit or a lot better than they would. And playing against a team that's maybe a little bit physically more talented than you got to give something up. And they made shots, they made critical shots, and that's why they have 19 wins. I have a different take on it. There's a lot of programs around the country and coaches, that coach undermanned teams, who are consistently non-competitive. I look at these guys that I got a chance to coach this year with great admiration against opponents that, clearly had physical advantages, whether it's size or skill at certain positions. I think it's a positive that we showed the fight that we showed. And I admire our guys for putting our program in a position this year to restore respect from opponents and pride in our program.
Andre, from a player's perspective, you only had a couple nights where the score really got out of hand, but as players, just talk about how you guys were able to be so competitive night in and night out, knowing that maybe other teams were a little better than you guys going in.
Yeah, because that's what we do every day during practice. We compete, we fight with each other. Either we win or we lose, and it's been real playing with Coach. He taught me a lot. Just how to be a man. There's a lot besides basketball, and I really appreciate playing for Coach and having him bring me back here for my senior year, and it's been great.
Danny, was it yelling after the last game, or was it a pat on the back to get these guys to rebuild their confidence for this game?
I'm not going to lie to you guys, it was yelling. It was yelling, and then it's just, Butler goes to VCU and gets beat by 35 points. We went to St. Joe's, who, might have the best physical talent in the league, and we laid an egg. And I just didn't want our season to end. UMass is a better team than us, clearly. They've had a better year this year, and I just want these guys deserved to be in another good fight tonight. And it was, for me, it was heading down to a bang bang, one possession game late. And then the common themes of our season really got us tonight, and that was missing critical free throws, and lots of them, and a lack of rebounding. Getting out rebounded by 14. I mean, the themes. Those are the themes that that were. A big part of our season, and that should have been a bang-bang game, but obviously that score is not indicative of what the game was for the first 37 minutes.
Can you bottle up what Mike gave you tonight and bring it back next season? Can that happen the way he played with
Mike Powell?
Yeah, assist turnover ratio 4-to-1 is ridiculous if you can do that every night. Obviously not every night, but decision making.
That's been a big improvement for him. Obviously. A huge part of your program's player development. We've been here for 11 months. We need to make a huge impact on player growth. We're excited about the obvious recruits and guys that are sitting out that are coming in. But this whole thing for us, it's about developing players. It's about developing Mike Powell. It's about developing Mike Amon. It's, that's your job, and that job starts for us, very, very soon. And you don't always love the percentages that these guys are shooting, but you can't always get everything you want when you want it. And he's made great strides, and I was proud of the way he competed, especially defensively. Chaz Williams had 20 points, but he scored most of it at the line on, I guess, fouls and ball screen defense. And then he banked in a half-court shot. I thought he competed his tail off against that kid today, and he's an outstanding guard.
Coach, you spoke this season about changing the culture here. Now that the season's over, do you feel like you've done that, and if so, how so?
We've definitely taken steps, but you can't fix something that's, I'm not sure that anyone in here understands, what me and the staff, have to deal with. A lot of it's, behind closed doors, and there's a lot of challenges, that we face here that makes this, a real challenge to get this thing, back on track. And it's not going to happen overnight, just like your culture is not going to get fixed overnight. But we've made some huge strides there. And, and like we talked about, we're going to get a week off for spring break, and then we go right back at it next Monday. And that's where I think, in this next, part up to when we go to Italy, our culture is going to be airtight.
Andre, the records are similar. 7 wins last year, 8 this year, but the games themselves were obviously different. You guys were more competitive. How was this season different from last season?
To be honest, it was coaching. Coach Barron, he was a good coach, but when Coach Hurley came in, he just changed our attitudes. We were more focused as a team. We stuck together. We just played together. We shared the ball, and that would help us out this year.
Andre, you hit 2 early 3-pointers. So kind of feeling early when you feel like when you start hitting those shots early that you get your game going.
Yeah, I just felt good going into the game. Started off, coach gave me tons of confidence. Told me just play hard your last game and just remember it. So that's what I try to do.
Next year, the league's going to be very different. Obviously, Temple and Chihuahua definitely go on. And it looks like 2 more from the Midwest that go on. What do you see for the A-10 down the road?
Yeah, I view us as, as an important program in this league moving forward. We've recruited well. There's obviously great tradition here. I look at it like we have a major responsibility here. To make this, a great program, and to pick up the slack and become like the programs that left. And that's not going to happen overnight. There's a lot of things that have to get fixed here in order for that to happen. But that's how I view my own personal responsibility being here. And I know that day will come.
Coach, I spoke with Tom Penders earlier, and he said you guys have had some conversations. What do you guys talk about, and has he helped you along this process?
I would call him my psychiatrist this year, or my counselor. He's been great for me. Just, this has been a tough year. It's been hard. Not strictly because, these guys deserved more wins based on their effort, and the fight and the grit, and it didn't happen. And I think we all need people that we respect, that we can talk to, during the course of a season, that keep us focused on the big picture. And Coach does a great job of that for me. He's obviously, his personality, is such that, he keeps you loose. And for me, I don't know if you noticed this, I'm an intense guy, and I take the winning and losing and a bad practice, or little things pretty hard, right, Dre? And, to have somebody like that can be there for you, you know, because, you know, I can't always get that from Bobby.
Dan, did you get an explanation of why after the technical foul, when X missed those 2 free throws, why you didn't get the ball back? What was the situation?
Yeah, it was a dead ball because it was off of Xavier. So it was their ball, and the technical happened after. You know, we had some really good officials. I mean, there were some things that happened, touch fouls, ball screen stuff, you know, that I thought was unfortunate. But those are 3 really, you know, really great officials out there. It's just when you're having a season like we're having, or that we're experiencing, you don't get those breaks. You don't bank in shots from half court before the half. You know, it's just it's been what we were dealt, and I think these guys handled it awesome.
Was that the turning point in the game where X missed those 2 free throws and they got the ball back?
Yeah, you know, I just think that if you know, and X has been incredible, you know, and X next year, you know, his commitment level this summer, you know, is going to be as great as any player in college basketball, and you know, he's going to be the leading scorer returning to our conference, and he's going to get this influx of other talented players, you know, to play with, and you know, for him, it's you know, those are the things that, you know, if he wants to take that next step and be a first-team, all-conference type player of the year type of guy, you know, he knows he's got to lock in better, and you know, those are critical. I think if those go in, I think it's the last 2 minutes is a wild finish.
Last one.
The record aside, how would you evaluate your performance this year from the standpoint of things that you wanted to accomplish that you got done, and maybe some things that you wanted to accomplish that you're going to have to put off into next season? Yeah,
I mean, first of all, you know, we wanted to, you know, make it to Brooklyn and compete in the conference tournament. You know, it's but this is a tough league, you know, and there's some really good teams, and you know, and there's going to be you know, there'll be another, you know, really good team that finished ahead of us that's not going to make it as well, and you know, that's unfortunate. You wish, you know, I just think if we played, you know, just about anyone in this conference on a neutral court in Brooklyn, we would have had a puncher's chance to beat anyone in the league. If St. Louis is the best team, we went on the road and got them. And if we were good enough to go on the road and get them, we could have won a neutral site game. That being said, you know, we failed in that manner. You know, we lost the close games to Bonaventure, to GW. You know, and we could just, you can't afford to give those away when the margin for error is so slim. But I'm proud of the fact that we won more games than last year overall, playing less games, playing a significantly harder schedule, I think with a limited roster.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.